Hi guys, welcome back to the Sicilian Revival. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have a double away day against Cerignola, and we follow it up with a game against Picerno. As you can see, based on our recent form, we have had a bit of a blip in all honesty. We managed a 1-0 draw at home against Taranto, which wasn't a bad result really. They have been doing very well in the league, but then when we faced up against Turris, who at the time was 16th or 17th, we got battered by 3-1 away from home. And then we played 19th place Monopoli and only managed a 1-0 draw against them as well. We are having a couple of players return from injury at the moment. We actually hit the crossbar 3 times in that game against Monopoli as well. So it was very frustrating. So we go into these 2 away games, needing a result to be honest, because with the likes of Catania, Benevento and Crotone left to play as well in the 3 games after, we we could end up in a little bit of danger if truth be told. We really have started to struggle, and it is a bit of a concern. We are rotating a little bit because basically we've got to at the moment. If we try and get the full strength team out, we've got Sarri in goal, Grimeland, Tepsic, Manetta and Goropek at the back, Franco Vaca and Frisena in the midfield with Ragusa, Amauso and Zuno as the front three. Frisena is back to somewhat full fitness. He's fit enough to play 75 minutes today, but he played the full game last time out and managed to get that equaliser as well. Plessia isn't fully fit. Henry Francis is still carrying a knock, as is Pacquiadi. So we are running a bit short at the moment. Civaleri and Rosafio out injured as well. Rosafio being the big miss in this starting 11, really. And as well as Henry Francis, of course. But we're just really struggling. And again, the lack of a goal scorer leading the line, solving the problem at right back has been a great bit of business, to be honest. Goropek has played reasonably well since coming in. Average rating there of 7.11 so far. And only Sarri and Frisena have bettered that. And Zivkovic has bettered it, but he's only played 1 game. So, it's difficult to make a case for him, really. But we're going into these 2 games. They're both tough games. They're both away from home, and we need to find a way of getting some kind of a result here. Um, like I say, form has been poor recently. We need to find a way of knocking a couple of goals in. We have still scored in each of the games, despite the fact that we've not won. So that is something. But we have definitely um, dropped in our quality in relation to form as well. So it's a major concern. And the fact that we're losing to the teams that are threatened with relegation as well just shows exactly where we should be in the league. And straight away, big opportunity there for the opposition. And fortunately, they missed the target. But Cerignola certainly putting the pressure on early with that opportunity. And again, we're just not seemingly getting into the opposition. We're not making challenges. We're not seemingly fighting too much to get the ball at the moment, and it's worrying because the players. I don't know if it's because they think we're safe or what, but for whatever reason, we keep switching off, and goals like that keep happening. And Malco with his 9th goal of the season, and again we find ourselves behind. And don't get me wrong, we've come from behind a couple of times this season, but each at the moment we really are struggling for any kind of consistency. And defensively at the moment, we just can't seem to get it right. And I am toying with the idea of changing formation, trying to give us a way of picking things up, but we're not aggressive enough. This is the thing. I mean, the opposition have got the ball again. They're knocking it about for fun, and our wingers aren't tracking back. I mean, this is Ragusa, and he's just jogging about. He's not even trying to put pressure on the ball. Vaca Jr. trying to intercept, and it's fallen for D'Andrea, and it's 2-0. And I really don't know what we can do at the moment. We really are falling apart. We're going to berate the team because it's about as bad as it gets for us at the moment. But again, away from home, we've not been the best throughout the season, if truth be told. We've done better at home, but even that at the moment is letting us down. And we just can't seem to get a grip at the moment. And we ended up finding ourselves behind pretty much every single game at half time, and we seem to try and fight back, but a lot of the time we leave it too little too late. And right at the start of the second half, it's nice to see us actually have the ball, really. Vaca Jr. just holding on to it and laying it back to Grimeland. And again, poor pass this time from Grimeland. Ragusa doing well to actually track back and win possession back. Now Grimeland again into Tepsic. And now Franco into Frisena. Now Zuno plays it back to Tepsic again. And now Vaca Jr. into Zuno. There's a bit of space on the right-hand side. Gorapet picks it up, needs a good delivery into the penalty area, finds it, and again we hit the woodwork. And again, this happened against Monopoli. We hit the woodwork 3 times in that game. In front of goal, we just seem to be lacking. I mean, Ragusa's rating a 6, and it doesn't surprise me. And to be honest, I'm going to take him off. He is really on thin ice, and he's out of contract at the end of the season anyway, and he is doing nothing to warrant a new contract, despite him being one of the best players at the club. Zuno's been shocking today as well, so we're going to push him back into the wing position. We'll get Plessier on up front. Again, I mean, Zuno 6.4, Vaca, who's a key player for us in that midfield, 6.4 rating from him as well. I know we're missing key players, but this is completely unacceptable at the moment. I mean, we've got players in danger of losing their discipline and getting booked at the moment. We just can't do it. We just cannot win a game of football at the moment, and I really don't know what's going on with it, but we're not doing well at all. We're going to get Thomas Burdick on as well. He's done okay at times when we brought him on. We'll push Vaca back into that holding midfield role, and hopefully we can find a way of getting back into this game. And we're going to demand more because we need a lot more from this team, and we should be doing a lot better with this team as well. Henry Francis isn't fully fit, so there's no point really in bringing him on, but we need something. We'll bring him on for the last quarter of an hour, and we'll drop some encouragement. And again, at the end of the game, we're creating more chances. But again, we're not converting anything. We're not getting the highlights either. So it just shows the quality of the chances we're creating is quite minimal. And Russo lays it back to Liggy here. And Cerignola are in behind again with Vuthaj. And it's taken a huge deflection off the defender. And it's 3-0. And again, this has been happening so regularly in the last few matches. And again, we've created just as many opportunities, but we are completely impotent in front of goal at the moment, and it is not happening for us. That is a very annoying defeat. And all of our goal difference has been completely wiped out as well. We've worked so hard to build that up. And with 3 heavy defeats in our last 5 games, we've gone from over 10 in goal difference down to 3. And teams behind us now are looking up and thinking they'll probably be able to catch us. Cerignola are only 3 points behind us. And with our coming match, again, it's away from home against Picerno, who are now above us, and we can't actually catch them even if we beat them. They'll certainly be fancying it. There's only a couple of days to go until that game as well, so we're just going to rattle on through. But we need something. We need to find something just to give us a bit more confidence, because at the moment, this form could be absolutely catastrophic in relation to how well we've done in the first half of the season, especially considering the teams below us are winning games at the moment, and the gap is closing. And with the games that we've got coming up as well, I'm not feeling particularly confident. 5 games without a win. This game against Picerno could well be 6 games without a win, because they're playing well in 6th place. And then we've got Catania, Benevento, and Crotone. So coming up to those games, I'm not entirely sure how. I can't see a result coming, given our recent form, and it is a massive concern. It's the first time we've drawn a blank for a while, I must admit, but we're missing a lot of easier chances as well. Ragusa, he's not done enough. We're going to set him for release because he has been very, very poor throughout the campaign. He's not done anywhere near enough. Pacchiardi, we're going to set him for release as well. Giuseppe Salvo, despite him only being 20 years of age, will set him for release. All of these players have not done enough to help the club this season. to be honest. And yes, we have rotated at times, but they've just not done enough. And I mean, Jack Henry Francis, I'd love to keep him around, but there's no way he's going to sign for us, if truth be told. Ragusa, we've set for release. Rosafio will be leaving at the end of the season from his loan deal, as will Zuno. So a lot of decisions are getting made, and we're only at the start of March. So we have got a youth intake coming up soon as well. There's not an awful lot of quality in that either, from what the scouts were saying about it. And we are going to rotate a little bit because obviously it's only been a couple of days since the previous March. Um, but in relation to actual form, I can't see us doing anything today to warrant an improvement, and it's very, very frustrating at the moment. Morale is really dropping amongst the players as well. But the thing is, if they're not performing in a system that we know works, because it's worked on and off throughout the campaign. Is it down to me not changing anything, or is it down to the players? Personally, I would say it's down to the players. It's not been good enough. Incidentally, I'm just looking at that. It seems that they've all dropped the issue about the lack of bonus payment, which is something, but it's a bit late for that, isn't it? Wouldn't you say? So going into this game against Picerno, we are having to rotate purely for fitness concerns, and we need to go out there and prove that we're capable, because at the moment we're not looking like it. Picerno have lost 1 in their last 5, and I fear we could be on the way to another heavy defeat. Again, we keep it tight for so long, but as soon as we concede, we just fall apart at the back. Eduardo Sarri's had a great season, but in recent weeks he has been poor as well. And we've got yellow cards all over the pitch already. Inamauso, Tepsic and Mineta all getting booked early on here. Neither side with an attempt at goal, apart from just now. We've had our first attempt at goal, not on target. And at half time, it's 0-0 and not a single highlight. And I've told the lads we're not going to win if we don't shoot, which is very true. Hopefully we can G them up a little bit in this second half, but at the same time, I'm quite happy that the fact that we're not conceding any chances. But we'll see how things go here as we approach the hour mark. Gilliat into Pagliari, and now Piteresi into Ceccarelli. Just holding on to possession and finding Guerra out on that left-hand side. Piteresi in space, splitting the midfield completely. There, we're supposed to have a ball-winning midfielder in there. Nowhere to be seen. And Maiorino is in behind, lays it back to Gallo. That's a really good save from Eduardo Sarri. Should have been a goal, really, for Picerno. But again, our midfield just seems to be non-existent at the moment. Esposito into Maiorino. Plays it into the penalty area. Piteresi into Graziani, and he put his foot right through that, luckily. And it remains 0-0. But just like that, they've had more attempts at goal than we have. Here is Amauzo, swinging it in, and again, just failing to make contact at that near post. Raguso trying to create something, Grimeland with a strike over the crossbar, and again, it's off target. But again, non-existent in front of goal today. And again, we'll drop a bit of encouragement to the lads, just try and raise morale a little bit. But again, we've not had a single attempt on target. Picerno have only had the one, to be fair. And I think, to be honest, both sides are absolutely shattered. We're going to get Zuno and Cavallo on. I mean, Plessis has had a shocking game as well, to be fair. Fumagalli is going to come on in defensive midfield. We've got 2 centre-backs on yellow cards, but we're going to have to get Salvo on at right back and Ortiz on at left back. And just try and rest as many players as possible, ready for the big games coming up. We can hold on to a point. It would be very, very good. We're going to demand more for these last few minutes. Can we at least have a shot on target? The answer is no. A very disappointing game. Again, we had an opportunity there. 6 yellow cards we ended up with. Very poor in relation to disciplinary measures. And it must have been a very frustrating game all round, but at least we got stuck into some challenges, which is something that we don't seem to have been doing recently. And a disappointing 0-0 draw. At least we've stemmed the flow of goals a little bit. And the point takes us 11 points clear of that bottom pack, which is still, we're still way above target. And I've got to remember that. But given the way the season's gone so far, the fact that we've done so badly in recent weeks is really frustrating. And that is the main problem that we've got at the moment. And we've got to make a lot of changes to this squad next season. That is for sure. In relation to going forward, getting 6 games out of the way is quite a lot, really. And then we've got a couple of games to finish off the season. But other than that, it's we miss Catania and Benevento, come back for Crotone and Foggia maybe, and then do the last 2 games of the season and see where we end up. But we'll play it by ear and see how things go on in the meantime. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.